Along those same lines, and if this is redundant, we don't have to get into it too deeply, but we asked the student panel, something that not many people know about them and something you consider, interesting or unique or distinctive. So is there something along those lines that you'd like to share as well?
I've got a couple. Some are more humorous, some are not. There was a song written about my past that was written, recorded. You can find it on iTunes.
Wow.
That is one thing that a lot of people don't know. It's been played all over Cincinnati and Kentucky. What else is interesting? I can sing The Gambler word for word.
It's a good one.
Yeah, that was always my favorite. When I was in 4th grade, MC Hammer came out, so everyone was like, my favorite song is whatever Hammer's song was.
Hammer
was
Time.
Yeah, I'm like, mine is The Gambler, but can't touch this. Yes. And mine was The Gambler. I always stood out. I was once a missing child on my first day of kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
They dropped me off at the wrong bus stop, and I just stood there, and they found me. I knew where I was, but I was told to stay there. And so my neighbor came driving up, and this was about 2 hours after I'd been standing there, and she said, Becky, get in the car, we gotta go home. It's less than a mile from my house. I'm like, no. Do you know the password?
Yes.
So she said, all right, start walking home, and she followed me as my little kindergarten feet started walking home. And I was once robbed at gunpoint for donuts.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a more serious thing, but the guy stole my donuts. It was like midnight. I was like, you don't do that to a college student who works 12 hours.
It's crossing the line.
Yes, sure. Yes, those donuts were my lifeline. And there's a bunch of other random things, but I think I was adopted as a child. That was something interesting. I've won an air hockey tournament.
Nice.
Yeah, so
nice. So you're a formidable opponent.
I am ready. Okay. Although Robert Greene keeps kicking my butt in ping pong, at some point I will beat him.
Okay, we're coming for you, Dr. Greene.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So what was that like being robbed at gunpoint? I bet that was a surreal out-of-body experience.
It was. Remarkably, I had a gun held in my head twice before, so I make it sound light, but really they were all traumatizing experiences. Mm-hmm. But it was right before Christmas, and the guy tried to I was in my front yard, and the guy tried to make me open the door and go inside. It's about 12:15 a.m., and I said no and just started throwing everything I had at him. And then he said, lay down, so I laid down, and after about 5 or 10 minutes, I couldn't hear anything. Got up and started pounding on my neighbor's doors, and no one answered. So I'm standing in the street with no phone, no donuts, nothing. So finally, one of my neighbors, who I didn't know, answered the door and called the police. And as I'm sitting in the back of the police car waiting for the dogs to track a scent, my other neighbor comes out and says, I heard someone pounding on my door. I was like, that was me.
Thanks, yeah.
That was me. I was trying to get in.
Wow.
But all of that build, I don't suggest it to anyone. Not that you can make you not get robbed, but it's all growing points, and everything, all of the problems and battles I've faced up until now have served some purpose. Sure. And I can talk to a student who's been traumatized. I can talk to a friend. I'm not a psychologist by any means, but I can give them a personal story and say, here's how I overcame it. Let's see if we can get you into this program or into a counselor or something. So
it reminds me of a speaker we had a couple years ago with the Teaching and Learning Conference when Dr. Philip Zimbardo came.
Yes,
and he talked about the bystander effect, and then also
Right.
wanting to train people to be prepared to act
Right.
when these surprising things happen.
I unfortunately I was not here
Yeah.
yet, but I teach him in my classes, so
Wonderful.
it helps.
Wonderful. Excellent. Wow. Thank you for sharing. That's really powerful.
You're
Very
welcome.
personal.